everyone, welcome back to Legally TT. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. So I told you guys I would give you kind of like the lowdown on this wig right here on my head. So why not do it now? So I ordered this hair from a vendor, and it was when I was starting to try out vendors to start my business, Delmarva Sacred Tresses. So I ordered from 2 to 3 different vendors. I wanted some really top quality hair that would last people for a really good long time. I attempt to wear my wigs for years at a time because that is just how I am. I want my hair to last. I want to be able to buy it, put it in a style, you know, maybe a year later or a few months later, change the style, wear it a little longer, you know, and so on and so forth. So that's typically how I get a longer wear out of my hair. So this also was one of my first wigs that I actually sewed on the sewing machine. So it was a challenge. I changed over to brown caps as well. So I did a lot all at once. So I changed over to brown caps. I started on the sewing machine. I used a different vendor. Hey, why not get all the mistakes out at one time? So I'm going to show you guys my mistakes on this wig. It looks great, but it does tend to tangle. When you get the hair, it has a really strong scent to it, like chemical scent to it. It does wash right out, so if you co-wash it or if you shampoo and condition it, it smells like whatever you put in it. So it's pretty okay. It does have some shedding. Let's see if we get any. I think right now it's doing all right. Right now it's doing okay. But I went to wash it and like this big chunk came out and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it sheds a bit more than I would like it. Tangling is, yeah, it tangles a bit. So you have to brush it, see, yep, pretty often. It is a curly texture. So I do expect it to tangle a little bit more than a straight textured hair. So if you don't know, I personally understand, one, that wefts are going to shed, especially if you cut your wefts. 2, it's probably going to tangle just a little bit depending on the product that you put in it. So you have to be mindful of those things. But for the most part, this wig's not too bad. I was able to style it a little bit, pretty decent. However, this is a closure wig. It is glueless. And I can't really part it back really far. It is a 4x4. So it goes from about here to here. But as you can see, I got a little itty bitty part here. Oops, excuse the squeaking. That's the dog and her squeaky toy. Naughty. It was actually Tabitha, believe it or not. I actually do believe it. So, yeah. Got a little part, kind of made it like a flip over method. Yeah. So here's the first mistake. As you can see, my cap is all the way up here. Of course, I would really want my cap more or less down here. Y'all gonna excuse these quarantine braids, but if you don't, oh well, whatever. So, but if you wear the hair, you don't really see the cap when the hair is down. So it's not a big deal. I do sew an elastic band into my wig so it pulls the lace pretty tight. So that one I actually did pretty good, but as you can see, it, you know, starts to get a little funky up around in there. So let me take it off so you guys can see. Let me pull up my cap. I don't want y'all to see my quarantine braids. Y'all don't need to see those. So here's inside the wig. You can actually still see my guidelines because I use a permanent marker, but who's gonna see inside your wig? So who cares? You can see down here where it gets a little funky as far as, let me see if you can get it to focus. There you go. I had to cover up my face. It was looking for me. Where it gets a little funky. You know, my machine was binding up and it was just crazy really learning this process. So they don't look horrible, but I have some places that look a little crazy. Now, the inside, I'll show you guys. Like I said, it was a 4x4. I did bleach the knots. I tinted my lace. So that's the inside. I think I got a little bit of dye on it. This hair was actually colored via the watercolor method. I used Adobe's Royal Navy because I wanted more of a blue black or a really black hair color. So that's what I got there. So let me show you guys why I can only part it in certain spots.
And do whatever she can do pretty much to keep me back around.
My TV just turned on.
You know, just
hold on.
Apologies from the public event.
So if you look here, you see there's a big gap of where there is no hair. Let me cover my face. So you see a really big gap. So in order to cover that, we just put that over there. Let's pull this closure. Pull most of the hair away from the closure so you can see where my track placement went wrong. I actually ran out of hair while doing this wig because I doubled my wefts and I ran out of hair, so I had to get some more hair, and I decided to test another hair from that vendor. So, you know, it worked out for me in that sense, but if I would have not had to test another hair, I wouldn't have ordered any more hair from them, and it would have been a half a wig. So as you can see, I don't have a weft that meets up to my closure, which is typically what you want to do so that it conceals your wefts. Also, on the side has a pretty big gap there from where the wefts stop and where they start at the closure. Same, kind of the same on the other side. So with this wig, I was really learning my placement of wefts. You know, how far apart should I put them? Should I put them an inch? Should I put them a quarter, 3/4 of an inch? Should I put them a half an inch? So that was something I really have started to get better at, depending on how many bundles I use. So if I lay this hair just right, you don't see anything. You don't see my wefts. It lays pretty good. But that is why I have a really small part, because I need the hair from the closure to conceal my messed up placement. Luckily, I have a pretty sizable forehead, so I can typically bring my wigs back pretty far. And as I said, it is a glueless unit. So I just pop it on. So that's the upside about this wig. Because I did do a pretty decent job with customizing. There's hair stuck under. That's another thing. When you put your wig on, you always got to make sure y'all the hairs are not up under there. And I usually just make sure it's down pretty snug. And it does fit snug. I used a regular size cap. I think I'm gonna go to the extra large caps because I think because you don't want to really stretch the cap when you're on a sewing machine, it still bunches up just a smidgen. But I'm still testing that out as well, so you'll see that down the road as well. But for the most part, I like the wig. It's not too bad once you detangle it. It's pretty full, but not too full. I think the lengths, I think this is 16 or 14. I'll actually put the links in the description box below. And this vendor is Truscend. This is their top virgin hair. If you want to try them out, go right ahead. I wasn't the biggest fan of them, so feel free. It wasn't horrible hair. I actually had another wig from them, some hair from them that I think did pretty well. I can't remember the hair, what hair it was or what level it was, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I think if you just make sure that you detangle it each day, or you know, when you wear it, because of course I take mine off at night and put them on the mannequin. If you detangle it and just keep it nice and clean, not too much product. I usually use just some water to get it to curl back up, or if I want it to kind of really be curly, I may put some conditioner or some mousse, but I don't put a lot in it, and I don't expect to wear it for a lot of days at a time. I'll probably take it off and put it back on the mannequin, and it'll be, you know, another week or so before I put it back on. And so it usually gives me a good wear doing it that way. But I will put all the information for this wig in the description box below. And thank you so much for stopping by Legally TT. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. You want to know when my next video is coming. Have a good one and stay safe out there.